caballero.
Es un hombre extraordinario.
Me impresiona mucho.
Pues ¿sabes qué? Yo creo que no es tanto el físico, es más bien la personalidad que tiene y todo lo que proyecta.
Ya me lo imagino con su smoking blanco, un martini en una mano y un costoso habano en la otra.
Provocativo. Atractivo.
A new stereophonic sound spectacular.
Hello there, and welcome to the exciting world of hip. This is a new departure in language instruction for English-speaking people who want to talk to and be understood by jazz musicians, hipsters, beatniks, juvenile delinquents, and the criminal fringe.
Bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur. Nous allons, grâce à ce disque créé spécialement pour vous, essayer de tirer ensemble le maximum de qualité sonore de votre chaîne haute fidélité.
Sit back, relax, and close your eyes.
Getting up, feel free to join in. And so...
Gooey, gooey, rich and chewy inside. Golden, flaky, tender, cakey outside. Wrap the inside in the outside. Is it good? Darn tootin', doing the big, fig Newton. Here's the tricky part. The big, fig Newton. One more time. The big, fig Newton.
So by now you're thinking, she must be crazy. Why is she standing up there like a giant fig Newton? Because it really is tricky to leave the matrix. So first of all, anybody have a guess? The person who comes closest without going over gets a fig Newton to feed to their rats or their cats or whatever. So guess on a year on when that came out? 1965. Nope. Close. 70, I heard 70. 76 was the closest. I'm not going to throw it to you because it would kill you, but you can. Thank you. Okay. And one more. There's always more. For somebody who can show me what the tricky part pose is. Ah, we've got it in the back in the orange sweatshirt. Will somebody please run this back to her for me? Thank you. You better take some herbs or something after you eat those. Okay, so why is it so tricky to leave the matrix? Because our lives are tied up in it. Our beliefs hold us back. We don't necessarily believe we can. And also, it requires sacrifice. We like being able to turn on our heat, sit on our toilet that flushes, have electricity that comes out of the wall, have food we can buy without growing it. We like all these things, and it can be very inconvenient and uncomfortable to endure the process of going through creating something else. So, next slide, please. So, if your brain works like mine, which hopefully it doesn't, I hope, but if it works anything like mine, then when you get overwhelmed, you find it's useful to make a list. How many of you are list makers? Okay, the rest of you are going to hate this next part. So, decided to make a checklist. That's what this thing is the first part of. On my website, paralleltimes.info, is the full checklist. It's about 20 pages long. The checklist itself is only this little second page. But the full checklist has a lot of information about how to do these things. Because there was so much stuff coming at me because of my activism work that I was like flooded in it. It was like, oh my God, how am I going to organize this information? And some of you may have seen when you came in that you were like, on the front table, there was this weird schedule for this event, which didn't go chronologically, which was so annoying. It was, I'm right. It was organized according to the categories of this checklist. And as you see, a lot of everything we're doing at this conference fits into the checklist somehow or another. So these are the categories they've got up on the screen that are in the checklist. And you'll see that, interestingly enough, the first category was beliefs. So what did we start the conference with? Well, we started it with health stuff, but a lot of that was about mental health and our beliefs and how we free our beliefs so that we can move into parallel society. And then yesterday, we did permaculture, and that was a lot about food. Because these are key things. You got to get your mind right, and you got to be able to eat in order to do anything else to leave the matrix. Next slide, please. So you'll see that this checklist, if you look on page 2, is laid out by categories on the left, and then the middle column has what have you already done in this area. So right now, while we're standing here, if you have one of these in front of you, I'd like you to find one category that is your top priority for leaving the matrix next. For example, mine is creating alternative revenue streams so that I can get away from the money tyranny. And then think about, in the middle section, what's one thing you have already done in this area? Well, one thing I've already done is coming here and talking to you. And then think about what's one thing you're going to do next in this area. Because if we try to do everything at once, we'll go absolutely nuts. So for me, I use this in my mind to prioritize my action towards my manifestation. And I encourage you to reformat this however works for you. Maybe you need it on multiple pages. Maybe you need it in a spreadsheet. Maybe you don't use it at all, but it gives you some ideas. Use it however it works for you, because it's going to be different for each of us. Okay. And whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Quote from Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Okay, so these are some of the reasons I believe we will succeed in creating parallel society. And the bottom line is because humans are amazing. And we're not supposed to become transhumans. We're supposed to stay humans. And we're actually kind of necessary, I believe, for the whole universe. And because there are these little teeny weenies out there, these kids that we all love. How many of you have kids you love that you don't want to see, right? That's what this is all about for me. Okay. So, if we each step forward with our personal gifts, we all have different gifts, different experience. If we each step forward with what we love, what we're passionate about, what we know how to do, what we want to do, what inspires us, we can do this together, like all those little frogs in Eleanor's story the other day. Next slide, please. So, some resources. I've created an online soil building course with Brianne Bernson, which is amazing. She's amazing. She grows, and that's a connection through John and Rebecca Bush. She grows all the food for her family of 8 while she homeschools her 6 children on less than 1/10 of an acre. She grows 3,000 pounds of food a year. She's a phenomenon. She's figured out how to do it all. She doesn't spend a lot of time gardening because she's got like a great system. And it's all based on good soil. So we have an online course. The code for TGR5 is, ironically, TGR5. And we have a $10 discount during that course. And then just as of today, it went up on the website. She and I are creating a second course, which is a 9-month course, live with Brianne, once a month online, to walk you through, soup to nuts, how to save yourself a ton of money, a ton of time, a ton of stress, growing your food. And the code for that one at paralleltimesuniversity.info is TGR5 Live. And that one includes the soil building course also, because it's prerequisite. And then, if you want help with your first online course, well, first of all, I'm doing a workshop tomorrow on how to create online courses. How many of you have information you'd like to be getting out to the world somehow, but the whole online course thing seems like, ugh. Okay, so I want to demystify that for you. It's going to be at the workshop space tomorrow at 12:45. People will meet Chris in the courtyard, and he'll walk them over. I'll be there earlier. And then also, if you want help creating your first online course, I'm taking just a few people that I'm going to be working with to create courses with no money up front, and we'll do a partner split for that. So come talk to me about that. And then finally, I don't know where we are, Chris is doing a workshop on creating solar power systems for your intentional community, your home, whatever, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So I think that's it. Please come see us at our table across the hall. And I left some kisses for you. Some of you not from the US are like, kisses? You left kisses? Chocolate kisses in the back, and my business cards are in there if you want one. Please come see us, and thank you.
Welcome back, amazing and beautiful people. I'm so happy to be with you. Let me just, because I have so many things I'm doing at the same time. I am absolutely not live. I'm live, but I mean, I'm not late. It was on purpose because for the third time virtually doing watch party with the Greater Reset. Read my lips, greater, not the great. Because we are greater than the WEF, we are greater than the World Economic Forum. And since 2020, we decided that we do it the same week of those mother bastard and Davos. But we do it, us and Mohican, Mexico, sometimes in Central Texas. And so, but we'll see, because Derek Bros, that I salute, one of the co-creators of this forum, is amazing, John Bush, and so many other people. I have no time for that. So welcome, beautiful and amazing mind, amazing people, to this 137 episode. So most of the time, without maybe the DARE REAL AGILE podcast, when it's showcasing here on Rumble, YouTube, and all the other platforms, we could say that it's about barely 137 months since I started it as a weekly checked-in from my co-living digital nomad jungle space in Tulum and sometimes in Cancun. So it's kind of amazing because it's about it, like 137 weeks. And I was talking about it to one of my clients this week, that sometimes, in my perspective, I really feel like we were like 2019 seems like yesterday, but 2020 and 2021 seems like 10 years ago. And 2022, I don't know what happened. So tell me. Oh, and I should do this here right now because, as I said, I was doing a watch party this morning for the Greater Reset over at the conscious, they say resistance, but you see, this is the real democratic participation, okay? So people agreed, and we're going to talk about it today, the empiricism, in English, and empirical process, invitation, openness, courage. Oh, what is this? What I'm talking about now? Focus, commitment to each other, and of course, respect of one another. It sounds like Scrum. And yes, I do. And some people, what's happening with your air? It's chaos. It's chaos, and empiricism will help me rearrange my air later today and the day. But what most important, as Scrum, the daily, now the weekly here, happen every week at the same time at the same place. But I mean, for you, maybe you're on LinkedIn, maybe you're on Rumble, maybe you are on YouTube. Actually, let's do a game right now because I see about like 26 people watching today. Wow, it's amazing. It's a beautiful day on the east coast of North America. So I don't know where you are. So let's play that game. For those who are listening live this Friday, January the 19th, please tell me in the chat. And I know LinkedIn, it's a comment, so put it in the comment. I should see it in the chat here because we tested and it's working finally. So tell me in the chat where you're from or where you are watching this, on which platform, and why are you here? What is your intention? Like we did on day one of the Greater Reset from the Freedom Sales Network. And we're going to talk about all of those alternatives today to the World Economic Forum because there's a lot of people now gathering together. It's I love the ultra-federalism, decentralization ideas that goes with it. And for the part of business agility, the open business agility and Scrum, because as I said, for me, Agile, it's a done deal, especially Agile software development. You could go kiss my ass. I don't believe in that shit anymore, especially when you impose it, especially when you just want to reimagine it, reboost it, because it doesn't fucking work. People don't want it. People is rejecting it. I see, like, because you dismantle this adjective, this beautiful adjective of Agile into some shit show of consulting firm, and even among the co-signatory, it's disgusting to see them just doing the money-making industrial complex about it. So you fell, and you fell because you didn't advise and consult the leadership of the organization to really understand the value, and especially the value of business agility, like Steve Denning wrote in his Age of Agile, like Mike Beadle worked a lot creating an amazing system, an amazing substantial architecture systems as one of the pattern, because he was so open minded, like I am, that he didn't want his framework, he called it like Scrum for business agility, for agilizing everything. Yes, Mother F. Awake a little bit, like wiki and agilize everything. Because if your marketing department doesn't know how to use this adjective of agile and really being into this mode of uncovering and togetherness, new ways, not just of developing fracking software to try to automate your workshop and or your shop, I should say, and then to fire people. Because Agile has become a tool now. This conventional Agile of Agile Montréal, of McKinsey, of BCSG, Boston Consulting Group, Accenture, all of those losers out there, they use the empirical system, the incremental system of the software development, and to the society. Actually, the World Economic Forum, if you go deeper and deeper in their multiple website and the workshop and everything that they have, it's pretty amazing, guys, how much they use those ideas of Agile software development with or without Scrum, sometimes with Kanban, with DevOps. They use those great ideas. That's the thing. The WEF is sucking out the energy, the ideas of everyone, everywhere. They rewrite it and they use it for their governance model and proposition. And by the way, for those of you, especially on LinkedIn, that gonna start judging, assuming that I am, what is it again? Oh yes, the Alex Jones of whatever professional business agility I am part of, that you're gonna say I'm a conspirationist. But what the fuck, on what planet are you living in? The World Economic Forum exists. It's been in the light, at least for me, when I was in college, with the work of a great digital nomad that I knew in Germany, who was in Davos for his vacation, and he realized that there was a secret meeting there. It was secret till 1997, and it was founded in 1971, same year of Starbucks. I'm not making connection. But anyways, for those of you out there who are not listening, the coaching of Ted Lasso and allegedly Whitman, of being curious and ask questions here in this very chat and comment about my whereabouts, because I'm agnostic in mostly every subject that touch sociology, politics, and philosophically speaking, I tend to lean on the Nietzscheism to counter the nihilism. Okay? So your insults are just dust to my eyes that the wind helped me push the way back into your garden of judgment and disgusting mindset. Okay, LinkedIn people, okay, soi-disant professional network of my ass in Montreal, especially the French constipated Montreal. And I'm a proud French Canadian from a Métis mother. And by the way, that was the 77th birthday of my mom yesterday. Adrienne, je te salue. Je t'aime, maman. Où que tu sois maintenant dans l'univers. Wherever you are in this tree of life and everything. And yes, I'm eccentric. Yes, I'm divergent. So if you don't like it, why the fuck are you following me on LinkedIn? It's just to spy on me, to make sure that you put me on your blacklist, to make sure that in your diversity and inclusion, you don't exclude me for who I'm really are. But if I identify as a fucking black lesbian, oh my God, now you will welcome me? You're just a POC, guys. I cannot stand it anymore. 2023 was the great split. I split. I leave you alone. Leave me alone. And let's move on with capable people. People who want not to transform the stuff, but to make activation and manifestation and manifest the liberty that comes with responsibility. And this is what I want to go about today, and why using Scrum. Scrum, it's based on empiricism, and with everything that we discover together with the Open Leadership Network and the proposition for the responsible citizenship with a real craftsmanship. No, when I say that, I want to surrender myself with capable people, with aptitude, with attitude also, to get altitude. The 3 A's. And I'm going to go do a show on this 3 A's with the OKR model. Because yes, me, as a neurodivergent, I'm able to connect a lot of things that you guys don't. Some of you are, I know from my listeners, especially on the DARE REAL AGILE Podcast. Not only you do your workout and jogging with me, but you are also sending me amazing comments. I'm still waiting for authorization. I might start reading some of them anonymously. For me, it's very important that if I read something online on the public sphere, that do you want to have your name put on it or on screen. So that's one of the reasons that I'm stalling to read those beautiful comments, because I reply to them a thank you, asking them if I could tell them like I do when you send me Satoshi or coffee. I will put your name on the board and stuff like this. And no, I'm not monetizing it, but I accept tips and appreciation that you could give me. So if you're watching it on Rumble and YouTube, all the links are in the description. All the link to contact me also, wherever you are in the world. I'm servicing you with business agility, real Scrum with great Scrum. And I'm going to do this year also, I hope, an association with Scrum Inc., because I do believe that is the guy. So without further ado, because it's going to be a little bit longer today, because I was in charge of something for a watch party for the Greater Reset, so I came a little bit late, so sorry about that. So for the audio podcaster, maybe that part will be cut. I don't know. Sometimes I just let it like this, let it be, let it authentic. But today, so the kind of the promise, my intent was to, because I was traveling a little bit these last weeks, and now of course I didn't been in Davos. When I say traveling from the World Economic Forum in Davos to the ARC Alliance for Responsible Citizenship in Nashville, and then to the Greater People's Reset of the Conscious Resistance Network. As I said, I disagree on the resistance, because you kind of keep yourself ready to be dismantled. Prefer a renaissance. It's more positive, it's more loving, but they choose it. So here we go. I have to accept it now because it was accepted by the tribe, but doesn't mean that it changed you. Okay, you could still participate. That's the thing, to be real open, real inclusive. You see? So I am seeking those who aspire to rule the world. Actually, I made a kind of a mistake in this. I'm not seeking. I'm searching. I'm researching. So I made a mistake. I'm sorry. English is not my native language. So sometimes, and I'm inviting you to correct me by your comment, public or private. I'm always eager to improve myself in every aspect of my professional and personal life, by the way, if it's worth it and if it's well done. If it's done with judgment and sarcasm, you could go fuck yourself. I don't read those. But it's not seeking. I was more looking at those who aspire to rule the world through imposition and regulation, as well as all those, and some network I'm part of, who oppose these technocratic elites by proposing innovative solutions that prioritize liberty and responsibility that come with it. And if I take it back a little bit lower, on our floor of business, professional consulting, and what we could do with a real conscious leadership combo with business agility process, I just watch this go and play alone, and empiricism, and it's value based on empirical process, who are the foundation of Scrum. I do believe, and I do see it sometimes in my intervention, that it helps us navigate the chaos and counter Neo C2, what I call the Neo C2, control and command, because yes, unfortunately, there's the 20 and 30 years old generation of entrepreneurs who are very into the open base model. And by the way, there's a show coming up with the Right to Repair movement. I hope to have Louis Rossman at the microphone, but we're going to talk about one of the WEF slogan, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. And it's already started. Everything is subscription based, everything is in the cloud, and you don't own your movie on Apple, you don't own your music on Spotify and Apple. So we're going to talk about it because it's incremental. They're using Scrum as a technocratic means of control and command, of imposition. So that's the thing, guys. So when I say I'm done with Agile, yes, because those who seems to be louder in this movement or community. We don't want to go back to this useless debate or the damn debate that's jello. But the thing is, there's nothing to do with those. They have a sickness. It's a parasite mind. Okay, and it could be contagious. So we try to be the antidote, and I do believe that with Scrum, at least we could be the antidote. Yes, there's a lot of dark and bad Scrum. There's zombie Scrum out there and everything, but this is it from now on. I'm going to be with the co-creators. I'm going to be with a great teacher like Dan Lefebvre and Mini, with music also. So the real Scrum. We're going to talk about the real Scrum. And Scrum, and mean like for every one of you out there like me who study in physics or chemistry or whatever, you understand the empirical process and the empirism of transparency, okay, inspection and adaptation, and repeat the cycle according to the context. And what you try to reach to either prove, approve, improve, and everything else. All right. So chaos, because that's funny. Like some of my audience, when they saw the clip, because I'm gonna do this like this right now. Don't expect me too much on LinkedIn either. It's linked out for me. That's a done deal. This is no resolution. This is intention. So if you didn't watch it, click somewhere here, and you're gonna go watch my Onward 2024 with my intention. I did it in French and in English, so I won't explain myself every time for the weeks that's coming. So what else? Yeah. So anyways, so someone wrote me about, after this little clip to announce that I'm gonna be live on Friday. For those of you who are just new to it, I'm always here on Friday at 12 noon Eastern, so you catch me. Actually, what you could do, because I know now it's still 77% of you on YouTube and Rumble who are watching more than half the show, so it's more than 30 to 40 minutes, but you're not subscribed, and you don't receive notification of every videos that we could do, so do it right now, and it's helping me. If you don't have the means to send me a coffee or a Satoshi, Bitcoins, at least do this. Like, share, comment, even just say hello. It'll help me beating this impose, control algorithm. It's there for a reason. There's good reason, there's bad reason. There's never black and white. There's never a polarity of things. So here's the thing. But chaos love to put it like this. And by the way, one of the image on the thumbnail, it's from Pietro Ladus, and I'm going to put the link to his article. It's more a scientific computer engineering article, but I found this image there of the, the Einstein DJ. It's generated AI image, but nevertheless, and the other image, it's from a philosophical website that talk about what is the real here? Chaos, okay? It's, of course, Oxford define it as complete disorder and confusion, okay? Like the snow, when it's a snowfall, a blizzard, it causes chaos, and the town, it causes chaos. Like everybody's, have you feel it? Like they're not walking the same, they're not getting in the subway the same, they're not taking their car the same. So this is like a complete disorder and confusion. Okay, so that's the term of popular right here, right now, kind of as a noun. Chaos is this. And physics, although, as I'm coming from, behavior so unpredictable. So in physics, okay, chaos, it's a behavior that it's so unpredictable as to appear random in our observation, owing to great sensitivity to small change and condition. Oh. And it's also in physics the formless matter that some stupid people call dark matter. The formless matter supposed to have existed before the creation of the universe. And this is based on the cosmogony of the ancient Greece, where the word is from. Actually, it's a Greek mythology, the first created being. So chaos was the first created being. That was their Adam, sort of speak. From which came the primeval deities Gaia, Tartarus, Erebus, and Nynx. Okay? And in English, the origin really appear in the late 50th century, where they denote a definition of a gapping between the void or a chasm, later formless primordial matter that some call ethereum. Not ethereum, ether. What is it in English? Please correct me, because now I'm French Latin in my mind. It's ether, Ethereum, I think. Not the fucking stupid, not Bitcoin. I'm talking about, Ethereum, I think it is in English. Correct me if I'm wrong. And also via the French and Latin from the Greek, chaos, Khaos, which is the vast chasm and vast void. And I'm a sucker for story. I'm a sucker for interrelation. I'm a sucker for substantion. I'm a sucker for the epistemology of the words and the three language that I speak and I understand. And you remember, like, in the last quarter of 2023, I did a lot of podcasts about the chasm and decentralized finance, the chasm and this agile stuff and everything. So here it is. When I declare 2024 the great chaos or the great manifestation, depending on where you are at your reflection, your realization, and your decision, because the split was not necessarily a negative thing. The split was, I have to make a choice. Do I want to continue to play with that team, or I want to create my own team, and this and that? But now it's going to be a little bit too late, because 2024, it's the all-open war. It's a war within the Agile movement. It's a war in businesses. It's a war of everything. And you know what? 2024, like never before, there will be 42 countries. 42 countries. It's totalizing, because among them, there's India, which is the biggest populated country on earth. It's not China, it's India. Really, China and India always beat like 1.4, 1.5 billion people. And you have also United States, which is the fourth biggest populated country in the world. But 42 countries total, plus the European Commission, but that counts as another kind of thing. That will totalizing anyways, like this year, 4.2 billion people are about to vote, are about to change their government. And no, Canada is not part of it. We will be there maybe 2025, I think, in October. But could you imagine that? So it's half the world population that's gonna go to the ballot, okay? And all of these people that are interacting with the economy, with the society and everything, they represent 43% of the gross domestic product of the world. And this, I get it from Value Titman with Patrick Bet-David. This is how I gather my information, and I double-checked it with not the World Economic Forum, but the Forum for Economic Statistic and Global Research. That kind of, yes, finance by the web. But at the end of the day, as I said, it's not all black and white. There's good thing that you could gather there. You just have to counter-verify it with other sources. But by the way, these sources, I just named it 2 of them. And so that's pretty amazing to me when you looked at it. Because the theory of chaos and social consent, I mean, admit it could have been worse, but about 137 weeks ago, about 3 years ago, what happened with this pandemic of a kind of a super flu, of a super kind of thing that didn't kill that much people? And I'm sorry to say it like this, but I say it like it is. I mean, for me, a global pandemic should have seen like an hour or something. So, yeah, I mean, anyways, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole that much today, but and to create polarization and stuff. But me, I'd like to observe it and to the point of view of how do we react as a collective when a black swan event, positive or negative, because for me, I know a black swan could be a positive thing, could be a creative thing. And you know what I talked as a physicist, I know that you need at least that polarization and electricity to create current. And current is agreement or not agreement. It's always like that. Okay, so when you look at the definition from the language English usage of today, that is disorder and confusion, that it's unpredictable and appear random. What's going to happen this week? And when these people at Davos, most of them, the top 1% or whatever you want to call it, if they have a sense that they could lose, that the chasm and the void could reappear and take their chaos away, and they want to propose a new order based on control and imposition, on telling you what to do. And I'm always asking myself, when I look at any government, any type of government, especially those collectivists, those who think as a hive, those who use the C2, the control and command, instead of invitation, instead of openness, instead of conversation, alignment, algorithm. You see? So, and for my soon, this November, 25th years of doing Scrum, practicing Scrum, from software development, but I did bring it to, oh my goodness, I don't know, so many domains of activities. Because I just realized that within the Scrum system, if you apply it to any context, whether it's software lifecycle, product development, even a cooperative of people who want to build a town or a permaculture, kindergarten way of working, what they need is this. They have to make it visual. They have to, in an agora, in a workshop, a practical thing, not playing fucking Lego, not playing some kind of silly game that apparently emulate the real life. No, just do it in real life with their stuff, their context, with their desired state they want to be. Okay? So this working agreement canvas, you could actually configure it to your context, to whatever you want to make visual. All the decisions that you take together into an open space will be ending up here. Okay? I talked last week about value-based organization that will not need this part here, the value part, especially not being imposed the Scrum value. It's not mandatory. And that's why I did add with Scrum Inc. the team value that could be specifically for that team, for that group of people, for that project group, for that product development group. You see? And of course, if the company is a company base, the company value, the core value of the company, if it's really applied, not just lip service, should be the should be the priority one. And this is to inspire you, so it could be even cut off. Okay? Like IKEA have 8 values, very strong. They are even stronger, especially in the application of the day-to-day life and the way they work together, the way they train people with the code of conduct. When they talk about togetherness, they really mean it. When they talk about give and take capability, they really mean it. When they talk about appreciating the difference of everyone, they really mean it and they apply it. Okay? So, and there, if a new coworker come and he discover that the rules doesn't make sense, they will pay attention to it. They will ask him to bring it into a huddle, into an open space, ask to everyone else, and do we change it? Do we try it and everything? Empiricism, inspect, adapt, and be transparent. So for me, at the stage where we want to go, it's quite simple, but it's quite easy to do when you have capable people and that you don't need to force it, because that's the thing. A lot of the times, if you are on the left side of things, you just propose an idea. I think you say you propose it, but you make people thinking. They do incremental process too. And they will scale it to convince people, vanquish. And when they have a kind of a momentum, as they say, excuse me a little second, probably. Yes, be back. Okay. So but my issue with that is it's not transparent. It's not clear. It's manipulative. And there's no such thing as positive manipulation. Like I went to a conference some years ago from that lady in Agile. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe my ear. My ear were bleeding. My conscience was. I left the space. Positive constructive manipulation. What the fuck is that? The induction and hypnosis, if you believe it, nobody had, even my psychotherapist back in the day, had a chance to hypnotize me. I fight all my life to be away the void and the chasm, or to traverse it. Okay, and to merge chaos with cosmos. That's my job, that's my purpose. And Scrum, in November 1999, I truly found myself. First with a group of engineers, but soon with marketing designer, with product developer, with business owner, and everything. And when you use it in a complex situation, so you have complicated, complex, and chaos. But when there's chaos out there, either you leave it or you reset it. That's why they talk about great reset or greater reset. Or you move onward. Okay? You leave it and you move onward. So for me right now, Agile is becoming so disgusting with the industrial complex of Agile, with those people who just follow the tribe and they don't really apply this adjective properly. They don't even go back to how the 4 values and the 12 principles should help us making decision by uncovering these ways and teaching it to others. No. We are just becoming this hive of conventional people that have to be in rank, that proposes one-size-fits-all, centralized way, hierarchical way, no substantion, no true empirism, and people evaporate themselves, especially at the Agile Montreal Forum, what they call the Agile Tour, that going on with automation and everything that's non-human, everything that have nothing to do with the interrelation of us co-creating something. It's not there. They will talk about it. They will mirror you into it, like the World Economic Forum does. So that's why I said, I'd like to associate myself with something. Right now, I'm like a bee who's looking for the right pollen. I'm on this side, yes. Yes, I do co-participate and co-create and co-organize stuff with this network that I don't like, the resistant word in the R, the conscious resistant network, which is more a channel of things. I did try to be present, welcoming people through the Freedom Sales Network, and I'm going to show you. I apologize again for my audio podcaster, but once again, if you want to see those slides or those websites that I'm going to up sharing now for the video listeners, you're more than welcome to join us on Rumble and YouTube to see it. So the first one that I really started because I liked it in 2018 as a self-organized and self-managed person myself is the Freedom Sales Network. Or you could see it here. So the Freedom Sales Network, do you see it here? Yes, you do. Okay. So let's dive into it. Let's delve. So it's meaningful change powered by you. So this is what I really like. Because it's acting right now into your sense of responsibility. And you see we have it in Spanish now, German, Dutch, Portuguese, Portugal, and Portuguese, Brazil, apparently. Surprised that there's no French, because French is a great language. I'm not saying it because I'm native French speaker, but because when you look at the world history and what they did, good or bad, with the Commune de Paris, they should have a say, and we should gather people. So anyways, within the last 5 years, I'm part of this board. I'm not part of the board, but I mean, I really contribute. I try to do my best for where I live, and as a digital nomad, I'm not necessarily, my home is Montreal, my home base is still Montreal and Quebec, but I did create also a sales in the Yucatan. So here's the thing. So what are Freedom Sales? Freedom Sales are local peer-to-peer groups, typically consisting of 8 people. So you see what I'm talking to you about? That's why they love me when I help them structure or organize or kick off their Freedom Sales, because without knowing it, they apply this empirism, transparency, okay, inspection, adaptation. So, and it's have to start small. It's local peer-to-peer group, typically consisting of 8 people. Wiki Scrum Master out there. You could have another job here after you help developer, and you could inspire yourself from the Freedom Sales with the openness. If you really practice Scrum and you are not in a value-based company, at least use the 5 values of Scrum on top of the empirism and the substantion architecture, and inspire yourself from this Freedom Sales. Openness, courage, focus, commitment, and respect. Okay? So the sales members organize themselves. Oh, self-organization here. Hello, Scrum people. Instead of debating of your fakeness, fake agile, just wake up to the world. To the world of capable people, of achievers, of women and men that they want to thrive, not survive. They want to experience this life here on this planet and this realm of dimension, of the 3 dimension. As much as possible as anyone else, because our birthright is to be free and to learn something and experience. So sales members organize themselves in a decentralized manner with the goal of empowering group members through education, peaceful non-compliance, and the creation of parallel institutions, which I'm going to come to it with the Open Leadership Network. Think of it as your activist support network. But again, for me, I'm more in the Renaissance, constructive, and applying things. So all of the above. And if you want to be an activist supporting group, do it. But the militantist, for me, at the fall of my life, kind of stuck in it. So I prefer to be the kind of a Scrum Master for freedom cells, help them organizing themselves. Another question, like, what's your why? Why do we need them? Didn't you see it yet? So if you're asking yourself that question, could be a good thing because you're curious, so you're not judged. You're not thinking that we are a fluffy thing, mumbo-jumbo type of people, because there's real people who just want to be responsible for their experience in this life. Because who the fuck is François Legault in Quebec or Valérie Plante in Montreal to tell me what to do with my bagel shop? Because apparently the wood that I use to cook my bagel is polluting the air. But they, with their carbon tax, it's another way to say right to pollute. Those who could afford it, they could spell. And I know because I live in the southwest of Montreal. So among the Canal Lachine, there's still factory, especially after the Saint-Pierre exchange. And by the way, all this construction with the dust, it's probably worse than your Portuguese barbecue chicken with charcoal. Okay, so stop it with telling me what you do, with your fake science, with your false assumption, and with your only desire of controlling everything and commanding everything. Okay? So the why is very simple. We'd like to act as a responsible citizen, autonomous people that want to thrive the way that we're going to organize ourselves and contribute and help with each other. So we are being isolated from our community by authoritarian law, invasive technology, yes, divisive culture, tyranny and technocracy are on the rise everywhere. And so we do believe that a local support network before a group, okay? Don't become a group or a cell overnight. You have the Tuckman model apply here too, right? You're going to storm with some of your 8 buddies. But at least you have a support network. It could just be that. So it has never been more important for our health, liberty, I will say personal security and success. Okay? So that's one of the alternative to the control in common and position World Economic Forum thinking. Okay? And as I said, like my intention of doing this live stream this week, in parallel of my contribution to the greater reset of the Conscious Resistance Network, I will have love Conscious Renaissance Network, but what do you know? I accept for now the tribe choice. If I'm not, I could opt out. So here's the thing: invitation. You could say yes or no. You're not imposed to participate in something. Like I invite you every Friday. There's an average of 25 listeners. 77% of you are not necessarily a subscriber of one of my channel, but you watch more than half the program. So you're amazing. And some people tell me like, oh, but after 3 years, you just have about not roughly 900 on YouTube, 28 there. I don't care about the numbers. Like my grandfather used to say, only one person listen. One person share it. I always have an average, 25, 40 listening, according to the stat, but sometimes it's bizarre because I could see live a lot of people, and when I came back later in the weekend, boom, there's nothing or depend. Anyways, so I don't care about these numbers. I'm not doing it. I'm doing it first and foremost for myself, because I like to express those things. I like to propose divergent ideas. I like to offer different perspective. And of course, the cherry on the Sunday will be if you could, those average 40 people, and sometimes more with the audio podcaster. I'm about like 200 people download it every month now. But nevertheless, and yes, I'm doing it to show that with Agile Lounge for Business Agility and with Joly, I am here, and my team of independent, self-organized, autonomous SME and other subject, we could help you. Go at jolyaf.com especially, because from there you could also hit into the agilelounge.com. So of course I'm doing it to offer myself at your service. I'm a leader who serves, not a servant leader. It's a thing of the past. Okay, so it's always an invitation. And so my intention was to not compare necessarily the World Economic Forum to these other alternatives, but it was to spark you into there's some other way. I'm being agile for real, helping you to see other perspective, uncovering new way, not only to produce and consume, but to organize ourselves and a better living. And one of the other thing that is dear to my heart, because I love the guy who founded it in 2016, and I really want to be at services to the Open Leadership Network here, and I'm going to share right now. Because I do believe that open leadership and invitation-based change, from Daniel Mizik especially, and the new world of work, could also expand in me aspiration and me desire of co-creating openly, transparently, empirically, this renaissance of our world. It's been about 31 years we are falling down in the Western countries. This year, with all of these elections, the elite is freaking out. They're going to throw at us a lot. And if nothing goes according to their control plan, they bring us to wars. So it's not alarmist to say that we could be at the verge of a third world war, to put people focus into this, like they put us so easily focus on the pandemic of 2019, 2020. They will do it again. But if everything not working, because a lot of people, like, the good side effect of what happened 3 years ago is a lot of people started to join our movement, themselves network, to join the Bitcoin movement. Some organization, they pay attention to more Scrum and Agile to develop there, especially those who understand, those who pay attention to real people who act with radical management. I love you, Steve Denning. Even if a lot of people criticize you, I don't agree with everything you say and do, but you are an inspiration of Mike Beadle, and you are one of my inspiration to do things better. And I love your spark, and I hope I could spark some other people with this combination, substantively. That's the real power of substantion. Not thinking that you are the center of something as a product owner, as a business owner, and especially not as a team coach, as a Scrum master. It's a whole group process. One of the 8 patterns of open business agility of this very open leadership network. For a smarter world of work and a world of business, that we could also scale into the civil liberty and responsibility. Okay? So I won't play you that video, and all the link will be in the pinned comment of Rumble and YouTube, and in the comment of the LinkedIn video. event. So enterprise-wide agility is difficult to achieve, apparently, and is best enabled by the use of open patterns of communication and interaction. Exactly. These open patterns encourage and then support very high-level engagement of your coworker and all the stakeholders, for that matter, that will participate in your co-creation and your activity and your outcome. This engagement is absolutely essential for the success in achieving what you want to do. Here they talk about enterprise level agility, but for me, again, it's not an agile transformation that I would like to propose at the Agile Lounge or at jolyaf.com. No. Tell me, what do you want to have as an outcome? What is not only the problem you'd like to solve, but what is your objective and the key result you want us to help you do? And of course, the Open Leadership Network, with its invitation-based open space and open pattern, could be a great asset. Could be, because I need to understand your context more. You understand that? So this is why we offer you up to 90 minutes and 3 sessions, so it's half an hour session of discovery session. And we are not there to sell things. You have to sell us. You want us to serve you. Both way. Okay? So that's the walk, the talk that I'm proposing you at jolyaf.com and agile-lounge.com. Okay? And what I really love with Mizik's creation of the open patterns, it's within the vision. We envision a world where everyone has the option to engage meaningfully in every decision that affects them. Exactly. Give you an example. You know someone who is a 5th generation business owner, a bagel shop here in Montreal, and been well known around the world for the great taste, the wooden taste of his bagels. Now he might be imposed and forced to use electricity to cook it with the chemical to fake the taste of the wood, because he has one shop in a big city of Montreal. There's only one bagel shop now with the wood, but it's great. Cabro, dioxide. Oh my god. And it's great, a lot of particle in it. No. Decisions that affect them. And if it's not based on an empirical science process, you could go F yourself. It have to be meaningful. You have to be engaged. Now, if I'm just going to vote, and especially here in Canada, we don't even elect our Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the chief of the party that gather most vote. Not even most vote. Most member of parliament elected combined together. So it's a very silly thing. We are not participating in anything. And that's why I'm talking about responsible citizenship as well. But anyways, I'm digressing a little bit now because we're going to go there. So I really invite you to read the work of Daniel Mizik here on open business agility. The 8 patterns that I teach also could go again to agile-lounge.com. And if you do 8 pattern of open business agility with my name on it on Google, you're going to find my Eventbrite page. And it'll be my pleasure to introduce you to this, especially if you're a leader, if you are an executive or a business owner who wants to engage his people more into this vision that we're going to adapt to your context. okay? And the mission of the Open Leadership Network, it's advance a worldwide adoption of these open patterns and practices so that organization or enterprise and the people in them can thrive. Absolutely, Daniel, well put. So, and for me, the reason that we're going to build the podcast right now with the Open Leadership Network, so the Open Leadership Network will produce a podcast to talk first about our niche of business consulting and how we could use this, not as a framework, but as an effective way when you create an environment where people who are not and yet want to be on it, or do want to have the choice of be on it or opt out. So that's, for me, the important message here. And I do believe that the Open Leadership Network could become this new institution that could be with the other guys. Now I'm going to show you that will probably, I will probably deserve, especially for the constipated LinkedIn conventional community of whatever they think they are, so more progressive and so more like, what's the word I'm searching? But anyways, let's focus on the positive this Friday. Because me, I'm not, I don't have the paradigm of left and right. It's like the coin, okay? Left or right, couldn't care less. I'm in the slide. 3 faces, not 2. And the slides make you move onward. The slide making you progress. Not the right or the left. Not the tail or bitch. Okay? So stop with that. And stop with your judgment. Ask me in the comment below. What is, if you want to know my opinion on this and that, and to try to figure that out where I'm from. Instead of saying like, oh, he's the Alex Jones of business consultancy or business agility. He is a conspirationist. He is a right wing. He is this and that. He is. And I'm being attacked in my inbox, especially on LinkedIn, by fake agile coach, by motherfucker. They just keep themselves in a bubble. Do you really think like at the Greater Reset you have people like, you have woke people, if you want to use the buzz term, and you have awake people, you have conservative people, you have religious people, you have atheist people, you have agnostic people. It's a completely melting pot of people, including like all of the dream of those DEI advocate. It's a real diversity. And we try to make, and what include us is this desire of being open, courageous, self-organized. And that's it. And that's the beauty of it. Because the Freedom Sales Network, the gathering of those 8 people and the community they could create beyond the network will of course be in a think alike. Even if, and the big Agoras Forum, when they all gather together to network at another scale, they respect each other. The 4th value of our empirical process with Scrum. It's happening naturally when you're wise and smart at the same time. If you're just wise, you talk shit. You talk well. If you're just intelligent, aptitude and attitude will give you altitude. I think next week is going to be the subject, the 3 A's. With my perspective, based on my experience with other. So anyways, the next one, for the judgmental people, for the low potential people, instead of being open like I am, even to things that I don't necessarily like. Just give you an example. I was in the United States the other day, and people were talking about, oh, Vivek is this, Vivek is that. I was listening, and I started asking questions. in my guts, it was like, nah, he's a fake one. He's a loudmouth. He got the attitude, but does he have the aptitude? Whatever. And it's part of a show for me and this and that. Everything is a show. And we could enjoy the show with a big bag of popcorn, you know. So, but I said like, Alex, step back, calm down, and apply what you propose to others as a coach, which is be curious, ask questions. So I started asking questions, sipping my beer with them at the bar, asking them, okay, so where is Vivek from? I'm not talking about countries. I'm talking about like what type of entrepreneur he was and everything. So I started asking them questions to know more and where they are from also, and their kind of sudden love or buzz around him, why they like him, why they like the way he talks and everything, and what they see. And they are American people, so they have, I mean, like, it's their choice. It's part of this. So you know, when you engage in a conversation, try this. Try to be humble. Not just come with your judgment and your way of seeing things. And me when I read stuff, when I see him on YouTube, doesn't impress me. He make me laugh. I like the guy. I like some of the substance. And I think Daniel Music wrote me something interesting the other day about... Do I have it here quickly? Here it is. Yeah, people are good and evil. Absolutely. There's nothing black and white. It's all gray thing. So the fleas come with the dog. So decide based on the policies, not the person. I love it, Daniel. So that was from Daniel Music, by the way. So anyways, so just this kind of context positioning, because a lot of people will say, oh my God, you're a fascist, so be it. And you could get the fuck out of my network if you think like this, if you're not capable of asking me questions and so on and so on, okay? So welcome to the arc. Is it beautiful? And by the way, Danielle, if you catch this, and I will send you anyways that part, I want you to... We're going to work also on your website. I'm going to give you your birthday gift or something. Because I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the content. But I'd like to change the flea. The flea a little bit, the fleas. So, welcome to the ARC. ARC stands for Alliance, a real alliance, for responsible citizenship. Exactly. You don't have liberty and freedom. It's not something that you go take. It's not something that you demand. It's something that you act upon. Okay? Because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice, real just. All right? So, and again, don't worry, all the link will be in the division. So, the vision was open the age of perma-crisis, exactly, this chaos. Why we call it 2024 the year of chaos? Because we seem, since 2020 especially, my hypothesis again is we are in the downfall of our Western civilization since 1991 when Soviet Union collapsed. Okay, so it's been all the way 30 some years that we're going down and down and down, and 2020 was an accelerator of this destruction to bring chaos into the forefront. And I love the way Dr. Peterson and others at the ARC call it the age of perma-crisis. Okay, so more than ever, whether in the business world or the entire world of governance, we're going to need that Scrum thing. We're going to need that empiricism. Not just to react and to face of this, what these technocratic command and control elite are throwing it at us, which is by pandemic with disease that exists or not. That's another subject, but... And yeah, so guys, I'm telling you, so the inaugural conference happened in London. That was beautiful. You see, it's Renaissance, it's fresh, it's philosophical, it's proposed governance. Okay, it's why we need a better story. So, music, you probably love it because you're a sucker for story, and you said a human being are a sucker for story. It's breaking the inevitable path. Because yes, causality exists in science, not just empiricism. And empiricism is there to mitigate the inevitable path of all the equation that exists out there that will make you a result anyways. And that's why we say that when anyone proposes an idea, start trying it and applying it. It's always an outcome. Information going in, information going out, and manifestation of something. So, addressing the challenge of our time, well, yes, but beyond that, because it's a movement in space for me, and restoring the foundation of our what? Sorry about that. Of our civilization, exactly. So, the ARC's question is about 6, and you could participate with yours. Okay? So, vision is story. Can we find a unifying story that will guide us as we make our way forward? The question 2 is responsible citizenship. How do we facilitate the development of a responsible and educated citizenry? So you could all answer this yourself. Family and social fabric. What is the proper role of the family, the community, and the nation in creating the condition for prosperity? Free enterprise and good governance. I will have said great governance, but how do we govern our corporate, social, and political organizations so that we promote free exchange and abundance while protecting ourselves against the ever-present danger of cronyism and corruption? Question 5. Energy and resources. How do we provide the energy and other resources upon which all economies depends in a manner that is inexpensive, reliable, safe, and efficient, including in the developing world, and I will say with a circular economy that we propose at the Greater Reset, with the Freedom Sales Network as well, and a self-autonomous community. That's great. Question 6, environmental stewardship. How should we take the responsibility of environmental stewardship seriously? Very seriously. The real ecology, not the eco-dictatorship based on pseudoscience, that you could create a carbon taxes and that money should help project development for better energy. It's all bullshit. It's all lip services, because what we need to do is to attack it at the source. We need a stewardship. We need to take it seriously. We need to inspire ourselves maybe by those before us who had transformed their environment too much and destroy their capacity of living on the earth. Okay? So I do believe that this is part of the cause and effect, but the solution proposed right now by the technocratic elite, by the World Economic Forum think tank, are not the solution. The solution to make big corporations pay to expel carbon and attacking the small business because they use charcoal or other means to give a great taste to their pizza and bagels, that's completely stupid, among other things. And we all know that if the big corporation pay taxes for their emission, all of that money will inflate into your pocket again and again and again. And lastly, thanks for taking the time to complete the survey. And if you are happy for us to follow up, and it is. So this is an alternative that I'm looking at. I see linkage of this for the creation of the institution of the Open Leadership Network. I did propose to Danielle that I would love, my desire state for the OLN will be to become this institution in the world of business consulting and the world of helping innovator and entrepreneur to create better governance in their organization using the open pattern of business agility and utilizing also this stepping stone to associate ourselves and to be part of this network of the Alliance, because I do believe that we shared value here. So how do we make it happen together? So this is like very what's motivate me, and this year of chaos, because I see it as a positive thing. I see that it could motivate me and put me in a situation that I could participate and co-participate in creating value for our society, for our civilization, before I leave, like my mom did 4 years ago. And so many others, like Mike Beadle and everything. I love you guys. And I know that I'm entering the fall of my life. And I'd like to do something before the winter of my life. And that's keeping me alive, guys. Without all this, I might be not here speaking to you. Yeah, like the French author Amriel Bach says, last year I killed myself. Read them between the line. And do you have something else to share? Let's see. How is the Greater Reset that I'm participating? There's no. So the day 3, it's about manifestation of algorithm in parallel networks. So a little bit of what I'm talking today about this. And especially remember, and I forget the Stacy diagram of music that maybe I have it here. Hold on a second. I'd like to finish with that. For you to visualize my way of thinking about this today episode. So let me try to grab it here. Because we just received the Give Thanks for Scrum. Where it is. Okay, while I'm searching, I'm going to share a little bit of my watch party for this event. And Danielle, I'm going to tag you here at 121. Because I want you to inspire yourself of that lady that I see you next year on the stage. Okay? That's Coach F way of doing things. So let's go there. And so I'll be right back with the Stacy diagram of Danielle Music. And Danielle, watch this because I see you on the stage or all together maybe presenting about the Open Leadership Network at the Greater Reset 6 next year.
Come and talk to me. If you've got something that you feel is a solution, that's what Next Steps is about. So I'm still looking for some really good people to kind of connect into what we're doing. And come and talk to me. And thank you so much, Derek, for letting me come and ramble on and talk about things that I love.
Thank you so much. Yes, make some noise for Tia and the Next Steps Conference. All right. You guys feeling good? All right, it's just about time for lunch. We're going to pick it up after lunch. I'm going to be speaking today, so I hope you guys will come back. I've got a lot to share. We've also got Catherine Austin Fitz coming up after lunch, Sterling Lujan, David Rodriguez, who's just really powerful speaker, and then I'll be closing things out. Want to mention one more time, if you are going to be doing workshops and it says green space, that's going to be to the green space over this way behind the building on this side, unless it says the other venue. Also want to remind everybody, we do have one excursion left. Unfortunately, we didn't get anybody to sign up for the others, so there's going to be an excursion to the pyramids. If you're staying for a couple of days after the event here in Morelia and you're interested in that, please go out and see the table in the middle of the lobby there. And we're going to hear from Ramiro right now, Hakeem, real quick about the Above phone. Anybody know about the Above phone? You got one yet?
What's up, beautiful people? Is everyone getting excited for their parallel economy? Gonna go home and find that side hustle or third hustle and build those income streams? Well, I want to help you. You guys know we have a Above phone booth outside, and one of our missions has always been to give people universal internet utilities. What does that really mean? Wait.
I love this, guys. So I found what I want to share with you. So let's do this. Let's change the share screen. So the Stacy diagram built and refined by Danielle Music over at Improving Agility and Open Leadership Network. So that is screen. Here it is. So let's just double check that it's properly shared. All right, so here you have it. I should have had the feedback for that next time, maybe. So here you have it. So to really understand, like, it's really important. And again, sorry for the audio podcaster guys. When I'm talking about visual thing, like maybe you're pissed off at me, but that's part of the multi-channel that we use right now. And again, if you'd like to, after you're jogging, your shower, you just go to the link in the podcast description. You could always see it on Rumble and YouTube. So Daniel Mezik's Stacy graph of the thing. So you see, it's really, am I well positioning? Because I don't have feedback. It seems to be okay. So, when we talk, Daniel talk a lot of invitation base. I do propose and talked a lot about agreement base. And this is what I love from his perspective of the Stacy graph here. Stacy diagram. Because you have here, I don't know, could I do... Yeah, here it is. So you have, oh, no. Sorry about that. Okay, anyways. So you have the far from agreement scale, and you have the close to agreement. So when you are close to agreement and close to certainty, when you're certain of things, it's really simple. So you don't even need to use the adjective of agile or any kind of means. You could just do it, right? You just do it. But when you start having uncertainty from the VUCA. Remember VUCA? Oh, now it's more uncertainty, and people in your group are not necessarily, you start going far away the agreement. You're not close to agreement. So it's become complicated just because of these interaction. The interaction of we are not certain, we don't have all the knowledge and the aptitude. And on the attitude side, to get altitude, we don't agree on everything. So we have to agree and stuff. So now complicated, let's think about something else. But hold on a second. When you are far from certainty, you're really into uncertainty. You're really in volatility, uncertainty, complexity. Here you are. So now you need this agile software development with Scrum. Now you need those DevOps. Now you need this CI/CD. Now you need all of those empirical and incremental technique. Because not only you don't agree, your client or your user don't agree, so you have to do inspect and adaptation a lot shorter and faster, okay? But when it's chaotic, like the perma-crisis which seems to be since 2020, well, as I said, either you give up or you try to bring a more solid empirical process to the equation, or you're done, you move on. You reset and you move on. You go somewhere else. And now I just want to make sure that... Okay, I cannot do this like this. And to the next slide, the step 2. When you confirm that the project... And by the way, this is the work of Daniel Mezik. That was his presentation at Give Thanks for Scrum on November 21st in Boston. So the step 2 is confirm that the project qualifies for the empirical approach. Confirm either if the chaos is usually associated with an unrealistic deadline, if we term in terms of project again. The complexity, it's low level of certainty and agreement, as I explained a little bit in my way. And you have to explain that the goal is to reduce complexity and reach much higher level of certainty and agreement over time as you develop your product, as you develop your business. And by the way, I had a request from a listener. She wants me to bring, inspired by Patrick Bet-David and Dan Pena, this 5 steps for entrepreneur again, but to another angle. So I'm going to do that. I'm just waiting for the permission of Bet-David, to put some visual from him. And how do I credit it? How do I refer it? So I'm always like this, and I will appreciate that if anyone want to use my work, especially when I use other people's work, you better credit everyone, okay? Because if you credit Agile Lounge or myself, and it's from Daniel Mezik, that's a big mistake. I don't like that, okay? So then the step 3, it's explain that empiricism from the Scrum point of view. But actually, the Scrum perspective, for me, Scrum, it's, and Mike Beadle and I were physicists. He was a PhD in physics. I'm a dropout of a master of astrophysics. So we all know that the Scrum built by Dr. Shutterland and Ken Schwaber, Hands by Mike Beadle and practice by yours truly with an open mind, it's empirism. And we see also subtension architecture that I can't wait to talk about it with Suryu, who is an advocate of it. She's the legacy of Mike Beadle on that side, architecture subtension, and her and I, we are the legacy on the enterprise Scrum as an architecture as well. So, but don't mention Scrum at all yet, as Music will say. Instead, use these terms: transparency, inspection, adaptation, empirical process, and so on and so on. Because we don't need, I told you last week, value-based and value core-based corporation with their value, talk to them with their value and how they could use their value to be more transparent, to inspect faster and easier, and to adapt to different kind of situation and a chaotic environment. So this is why you will tell them they don't need Scrum or Agile or Kanban or DevOps. What they need, it's more transparency, to agree with one another, more inspection, okay, to be away from the uncertainty, and adaptation to make it happen, to the outcome goes out. And especially if it's chaotic, to go down to more certainty and more clarity, you will go to complexity, and you will go and then after to just do it the way you do. But the value-based corporation I spoke about last week, IKEA, Apple, and so on, they are applying it consistently, and consistently and a continuum of things. So that's why we say when they keep things simple, they achieve. So they don't need time or energy to go from chaos to simple, because they keep themselves with this TIA, transparency, inspection, adaptation of the empirism process. They keep themselves and do iteration to do those inspection and adaptation. Because without iteration, you won't be able to inspect and adapt, okay? And of course, a daily update leads to early identification of a problem that create this uncertainty and unclarity, okay? So frequent and periodic demonstration of progress also to every stakeholders, not top-down, bottom-up, all group process, all enterprise process, all right? And the step 4 is the offer. Promise to deliver goods, the outcome, invite consequences if you don't. Yes, invite that you could be fired from your contract if you're a true consultant, if you're a true coach. Promise tangible result using a number of weeks, not an iteration. Weeks, talk in terms of real time, days, weeks, months. An example, if the iteration are 2 weeks long, promise tangible result in 1 month or less. Exactly. That's what we do at the Agile Lounge when we start a mandate. And if they like this first month, we sign up for 3-6 months of support. Okay? That's simple. But of course, the Agile Industrial Complex, they don't like it. They don't like us. But the CEO, the CFO, and a true entrepreneur, a true businesswoman and man, they love us. Okay? So, if the iterations are 1 week long, promise a tangible result in 2 weeks or less. So that's the tip from our friend Daniel Mizik here. And truly, if you like the show today, give me a like. Share this. I really need your help of breaking the tyranny of the algorithm, especially on Google, YouTube, because Rumble is kind of nice. Rumble, actually, I don't understand. There's a lot of people watching, but you're not subscribed and you don't hit the glove, so do it. And of course, I'm always open for new Bitcoins. And very soon, we're going to talk about these Liberty Ether Bitcoin Inside product that I'm part of helping those teams develop and receiving their fund. So a lot of things will happen in 2024 for those who are capable people, who are awake and agile, because when Steve Denning wrote in April 2020, only the agile people will survive, he was not talking about agile coach or scrum master or people who claim to be agile and the term of all of these techniques and framework. No, he was talking about the adjective of agile, of being agile, of moving into this chaos. With the great thing that I just showed you today, with the alternate network that could be possible, with applying the real self-organize and governance of self and others in a group, in the whole group process. I do believe in these. I am motivated by these. That's keeping me alive. That's keeping me keep going in this world planet dimension experience. If you'd like to know more about me, go to jolyaf.com. You have my whole self, everything from business agility to project management to customer relation management to event management. Everything is there. It's simple, it's clear. You just have to contact me and we're gonna help you be clear and simple and also network. And of course, share this video if you think it could help someone receiving this offer of another perspective. And I would like to end the show and music, because for me music is very important. And I'm not monetizing this really, except of course your coffee are welcome and anything you could want to share with me. All the links are in the description, especially on YouTube and Rumble. And so for me, I'm on for renaissance and real progress, for liberty, but liberty requires responsibility. So I will have the courage, the openness, the focus, and the commitment to respect one another and to make this happen from now and onward. And I'm going to share music from Above and Beyond, one of my favorite groups that will be here in Montreal for the Igloos Fest, by the way. Don't know exactly the date. I'm not there anymore. I used to organize those stuff. But I'd like to finish with that. It's kind of a love song. I know I might be strike for the MCA. We'll remove it after. But for those who are listening to it live this Friday, January the 19th, I'd like to close the show with that and let you go to this beautiful weekend. I hope you will have a beautiful weekend. It's sunny, as you could see, even with my shade. The sun is penetrating. The sun is rising again. We are in the renaissance moment of our season. I love it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. I don't like to say follow me, but to encourage my folie. Let's do a folie at multiple people. So I'm gonna close the show with this. Just want to prepare before. Because all right, perfect, we'll be ready. So that's a song from Above and Beyond, diving out of love with the lyrics, because I think it's the message of hope using love that I would like to say with this vibration of this great music on earth thing. And I will close the show with that. And remember who you truly are. You are wonderful. You are powerful, and you are free to be whoever you wanted to be and to do whatever you wanted to do with love and respect of one another. On that, beautiful and amazing people, have an amazing weekend and see you next Friday for already the DARE REAL AGILE. We'll see. Let's be unpredictable, but positively unpredictable. Take care.
dans votre champ